Hello and welcome. I'm your host, William Liu. You're listening to the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway. See it Betway all over the place when I'm watching the Prem every weekend. Make sure you find Hello and Welcome wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe. Please rate and review the show. Also, please keep commenting, liking, subscribing to our channel on YouTube. You get the picture. The more engagement we get, the more views we get, the more that the community grows. And yeah, we want that to happen because obviously the season is just around the corner. Media day plans, training camp plans, a lot of news items coming up now. So yeah, I'm joined by producer and co-host Alex Wong in our favorite spot at Hong Shing, where we're here, I'm not even kidding, 2-3 times a week. What's going on, man?
Hey, Will, how are you today, man?
What's this fake energy that you got?
Sorry, man.
Is this because you had 3 Baijiu shots
We are
already?
live. Come on, man. We are live at Hong Shing 195 Dundas West. Like you mentioned, Hong Shing has always been family to us.
Actually,
you know, shouts to our guy Clement,
yeah.
you know, aka the Devil, Ranger, Vincent, Ella. I think there's a Brenda or Barbara. Yeah, shouts to Brenda or Barbara.
Okay.
And of course, you know, Colin has always been so welcoming to us. Did our Shake Fries collab here.
Yeah. If you're looking for the restaurant, by the way, you can just look for the Shake Fries sign. It's still
just
painted
look for the
Shake
Fries. Honestly, Hong Shing is my go-to Chinese food spot. Whether I'm here, whether I'm home, you know, looking up food, you know, delivery apps.
Oh yeah, you
held
getting this
me down,
order too?
held me down during the pandemic.
Ooh.
I even put in the note sometimes. I'm like, I know Colin, and then they don't even throw in an extra fortune cookie for me, unfortunately. But shouts to Colin, and Colin and Chef Eva Chin are actually working on this new restaurant series that's happening here. Yeah. Yang Dining Room is presented by Hong Shing, and it's going to start on October 5th. Operating 4 nights a week out of Hong Shing's private dining room. It's going to be some neo-Chinese cuisine. Do you know what that is, Will?
Neo-Chinese cuisine.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
It's merging classic elements with innovative twists.
Okay.
And creating a dynamic and progressive third culture cooking style that reinterprets Chinese food.
I'm actually really excited. For anybody who's had the pleasure of having Eva Chin's cooking, like she is like a really innovative chef,
pushing boundaries just like us.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really excited, and we're gonna have some food after this.
Yeah,
it would have been good to have it before the 3 Baijiu shots, you know.
What? So make sure, stop referencing that. So make sure Yang Dining Room, go reserve via Talk. Just look it up, Yang Dining Room, October 5th. You might see us here as well.
Let's be honest, we
haven't scored the friends and family invite, even though I saw some friends and family here this weekend. It's fine.
Yeah, well, it's fine. They got
they got
a lot of friends. They got a lot of family, man.
Hong Shing's always family, man.
You can catch references of Hong Shing in 100 gigs, bro.
What? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Shouts to Drake not getting the Super Bowl. So 1 week before training camp, just want to go through some topics with you. You know, we'll decide how long we want to go on each topic, depending on, you know, whether it's Bruce Brown or not.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. But just before the pod, we made the executive decision to bump Bruce Brown to like lower, you know, because people like tune into a pod and they want to get to the most important things first. You know, by the way, Vince Carter getting his jersey retired. It's official. There's an official date.
Breaking news.
I thought that should go first rather than Bruce Brown.
Okay, let's go. Topic one.
So,
Topic one per Josh Lewinberg of TSN, who is the new Woj now. The Raptors are gonna retire Vince Carter's jersey when they host Sacramento on November 2nd. I know this has been a topic that's been talked about a lot. The Nets announced last week that they were retiring Vince's jersey in January, and I think it caused another uproar because Raptors fans are like, yo, when is the team going to do something? Like, we're going to get scooped by Joe Tsai again. Like, Jackie Sway is going to like hand the jersey over to Vince Carter. Like, what's going on? So it's official. It's been announced. Vince Carter very early on in the season on a Saturday home game against Sacramento. What is your reaction?
My reaction is I feel like the Raptors did their very, very best to make sure they got it done before the Nets.
Because this was a whole motivation.
This is like the second week of the season. Like, and I
know the platinum seats are just getting warm, you know?
And I know
people
that,
just
like,
finding out about the suites.
Yeah, people are like, you know what? Like, you know, there's a DeMar DeRozan angle because he's with the Kings now, and so he'll be there. And, you know, like, there's other former Raptors on the Kings, I suppose. But, like
who?
Like, Doug Christie's part of the assistant coaching staff.
I mean, shouts to Doug, but I know you don't know Doug Christie like that.
No, I've heard the rumors, man. I heard what the streets been saying about Doug.
Pitts.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, like, I think that was the main motivation. I think, look, the Raptors were always going to retire Vince's jersey this season. They've alluded to it like many times. They literally put the on the city jerseys, they got the Dino doing Vince Carter's between the legs dunk from the 2000 slam dunk contest.
Yep.
So it's like they were always going to do it. It was just a matter of what day it was going to be announced. And so, yeah, for anybody who was lucky enough to get tickets to a random Saturday game against the Kings, you're going to make a good buck on this. But I mean, how do you feel? Because I know we've talked about this previously. It's official now. Vince's jersey is going to go on the Raptors. At least 5 Raptors have worn 15.
Oh, can we name them all?
Yeah, can you
Anthony
guess the 5
Bennett?
Yeah, there we go. AB.
Amir Johnson.
Amir Johnson, of course.
Ooh, I'm running out already.
Yeah.
Recently? Like
yeah,
more recent?
Recently. There's one more recent than that.
Okay, I need your help on this one.
Well, we're going to play the basketball reference game later, but this guy was on the Raptors in the championship season, was not on the Raptors roster come time for the playoffs, and the Raptors actually played against him during that playoff run.
Not the big guy.
Yeah, big guy, yeah.
Greg Monroe?
Greg Monroe.
He wore 15?
He wore 15.
Come on.
He wore 15. There's like...
Y'all say I don't respect Vince.
There's another one that's pretty prominent.
Okay, tell me.
He got injured in a very unfortunate way, and it kind of like ended his NBA career. Yeah, Garbajosa.
He wore 15?
He wore 15. Yeah.
What?
There's probably one more that I'm forgetting right now off the top of my head.
I guess Amir is really the most prominent.
Oh, yo, this is actually crazy because there's actually another player who won the championship with the Raptors that season.
Okay.
That wore 15.
Did he play?
The special clue is he's known for an interaction with Josh Lewenberg.
Eric Moreland wore 15 too? You're telling me that...
Shouts to Josh Lewenberg, by the way. Congrats on breaking this news.
You're telling me during the championship season, they passed around that Vince Carter jersey to any backup big man. That's...
The official number for the third string center position in 2019 was 15 because Monroe and Eric Moreland both had it.
No, but listen, it's super exciting. I believe this is like the second week of the season that is going to take place. And there's been like so much talk about 30th anniversary.
Yep.
And I think we still don't know what the big plans are throughout the season. I'm sure like obviously
this
the Raptors,
is the biggest item. Let's be honest.
This will be the biggest item.
Yeah.
So, where do we go from there, after week 2? But no, this is
gonna peak during week 2.
No, but this is the first jersey that's getting retired.
Yeah, in franchise history.
By the Raptors. Yep. That's a huge deal. I think being able to just revisit Vince's time here is a big deal. Seeing him here is going to be a big deal, and DeMar is going to be there as well. Like,
his jersey will go up as well. Obviously, no one's worn 10 since DeMar's played here.
Yeah, so this is going to spark a discussion of like, whose jersey is going to get retired next. We'll save that. We'll save that for the dead of November.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think it's interesting. Number one, if you've been to Scotiabank Arena, you know that like 90%, maybe 95% of the whole space up there is taken up by Leafs history.
That's right.
And obviously the Leafs have like a really long and like celebrated history, basically, before World War II, like that rage, Korean War era, like they were killing it in that Korean War era.
The Leafs were a problem when it was black and white TV.
Even up to Vietnam War era, I feel like the Leafs were actually doing well.
The Leafs have never won in color, man.
But it's okay, man. They've that pre-integration era, I think the Leafs were actually killing it. But like,
they were killing when there was 6 teams in the league.
Yeah, but they were legends in a row. Because that's the thing, like we're up there in the gondola all the time.
Gondola.
And
okay.
We're sorry, it's the 3 Baggio shots.
Where are we at Toroni right now?
And I'm looking down, and I'm like, all I see is like multiple.
It's all Leafs.
Jerseys. It's all Leafs.
It's all Leafs. That's the tradition there. Like since Maple Leaf Gardens.
And
like
I believe
Scotiabank.
There's 3 total Raptor banners. There's like probably 30 banners up there.
Yeah.
There's 3 Raptors banners. There is the championship banner. Which is awesome. There is the inaugural season banner, and then I think there's a separate banner for all the times they won the division. Yeah. Which they just aggregated into one.
I like the inaugural season too, because it's like, yo, we're here. It's the we're here banner. You know?
But I just like the idea of the Raptors like claiming more and more space of this area that they like actually
I do agree with you, like from a big picture standpoint, especially it being the 30th anniversary, I think it is time that we make some space to just celebrate the team's history, right?
It's also been a really long time since any jersey went up in Scotiabank Arena, right?
Sure.
I think the last one was like Sundin.
Okay. Yeah, so it's been a little bit.
Like those will be the first one for the Raptors. Yeah. We know DeMar, whenever he retires, he'll get his jersey, up there. Yeah. Same thing with Kyle. I think Kyle's probably closer to retirement than DeMar is.
Kawhi though?
Kawhi, I don't know,
if he won it.
Because Jalen Harris got that number 2 as well. Jalen McDaniels got number 2, man. You can't do that to Kawhi, man.
Yeah, we went from the best number 2 to the worst number 2. It's tough.
He getting like a Legends row at best.
Man, no, I think we'll have that debate another time, but I think it's fitting for Vince to be the first jersey that gets retired. I'm super excited about it, and like you mentioned too, the Raptors City Edition jerseys leaked. I guess all City Edition jerseys leaked last week.
Right.
And their jersey is going to feature a Dino logo with a nod to Vince's 2000 Slam Dunk Contest performance, that little between the legs. I believe this graphic leaked towards the end of the season. I remember seeing it floating around a little bit.
Yeah, there was something similar to it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what were your initial impressions of this particular logo and jersey?
I think, first off, I think as many people pointed out, is slightly off center, but I think that's so that there's you could put a number on the part of it as well. But I think that the other part to me is just you got to look across the board to the rest of the league's jerseys. Most City jerseys look terrible.
You don't like the Mavs cocaine white jerseys?
Oh, buddy, the industry jerseys, the Pure Point, not the Pure Point home jerseys. All right, but
not the Yasmin ones.
Yo, I need a Cara Hanani Dallas Mavericks all white jersey. No, but I think for the rest of the Nike designs, they were really bland. So for Toronto, comparatively, we're gonna really stand out when we wear those.
Sure.
So for me, I'm definitely gonna cop that one. That was actually a really nice jersey for me.
Yeah, I think somebody made a point. Might have been Steve Jones. Shouts to our boy. Yeah. On the low post, he was
I love him talking about the Pistons on the low post, man.
Yeah, turn that one off after 20. He was like, if you look at the City Edition jerseys as hoodie designs, that they would be all really cool. Because I think as jerseys, they leave a little bit to be desired for. Yeah. Like you mentioned across the league.
No, and but that's just Nike's thing, man. They're making super bland jerseys, even across the Prem and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, Nike, shouts to Nike, but y'all been slipping on this for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I think, like you mentioned, the Raptors one does really stand out. And there was also a teaser of the purple jerseys too, right? The ones that were worn during the Vince Carter era with the Toronto across. I think people are super excited for that because a lot of fans maybe just grew up in that era, maybe came after it. They've seen the jerseys and photos. I don't think they've had a chance to pick up that jersey and to be able to get a Scotty Barnes number 4 in the purple, a little Kelly Olynyk number 41?
41?
Yeah, 41 in the burp.
Inspired by Dirk?
Oh no! So I think people are super excited about the purple ones as well. So
the purple one's cool too because it's one of the most iconic images. When we think about what are the 5 images that people have seen the Raptors organization in, one of them is definitely Vince Carter at the dunk contest, and that's the jersey he wore for the dunk contest, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
remember Donovan Mitchell tried to show love to Vince at a dunk contest.
Yeah, but he wore a different jersey. One. Yeah, he wore the wrong jersey. Yeah. And so I kind of like it too because I think the original jersey, the one with the dino and the stripes and everything, is a classic, but they do it all the time. So I kind of like this one being brought back. It's very clean to me. So I think I'll probably get 2 jerseys this year. Which
okay, which players are you gonna get if you're to get players?
I don't know, but we'll see what's available on DHgate. All right.
Oh my
you about
god,
to see
man! You can't do that, man. Well, you have to be an edit, man. Shouts to Tangerine.
Shouts to Tangerine though.
But yeah, real jersey maybe get a purple dick. I think that'd be a really good one for you. Because you got the gold dick last year.
Sure.
And also, NBA 2K enthusiasts were able to spot that some of the NBA Cup courts. By the way, NBA Cup is the new in-season tournament. That's what it's called now. Yeah. I'm getting used to it. Yeah. NBA Cup court for the Raptors court also apparently leaked, and it's a full purple court. Yeah. Really purple.
Of purple.
Thoughts on the purple court, my brother?
My thoughts are first off, why are you waiting so long for the announcements? People are gonna play 2K. You know 2K's gonna have updates.
Also, we need some basketball soon, man. How are we opening with jerseys and courts?
No,
man?
But Vince Carter getting retired is pretty cool.
Yeah,
but,
big deal. Shout out to Vince.
Yeah, I mean, we've known from last season that they want to make it really colorful. So
yeah,
all purple on the court. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it probably will look okay. I don't know.
I mean, the in-season tournament courts last year were super intense, right? I'm thinking about Indiana. Didn't Chicago do a whole full red court?
It was blood red kind of thing.
Yeah, so I guess purple is the wave.
The Miami Heat wrote that whole sentence in the paint.
They're hardest working.
They're Kyle Lowry just took
hustle stats.
Kyle Lowry just took a charge on most pride.
We worked so hard to finish 43 and 39 every year.
Yeah, there you go.
Hardest working team.
Yeah.
But, I was thinking, too, because of the NBA Cup, I started looking at the group play stage for us. And the Raptors are in a group with Indiana, Milwaukee, Detroit, and Miami.
Okay.
And I know that last year, the Raptors famously just quickly flamed out of
I think
the tournament.
once we lost our second game, we were already done.
Like once we lost our first game, we needed like 3 tiebreakers.
The first one was against Orlando, if you remember, and we lost by like 20. Anyway, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Hopefully we'll get more of a run this time.
So as you know, when we did our season prediction of all 82 games, I did have the Raptors winning the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
So I was looking, this year, all my gambling is going to take place on Betway.
Always
Shouts to Betway. And with the season starting, I'm going to have to dabble in a couple bets here and there.
Yep.
So I was looking at the Raptors odds to win their group in the NBA Cup on Betway.
Yeah.
41-1 odds to come first in that group.
Okay, that's disrespectful, man. 41-1.
Yeah, so with Detroit, they are both 41-1 to come out. And I'm just saying, like, is it that hard to get a little win against Indiana?
I'm just saying, like,
get a little win against Milwaukee.
I think you just need 3 wins to win the group, right?
Right. Maybe 3. Yeah, I think if you go 3-1.
Yeah.
3
if you're telling me they're 41-1
odds
odds to win the whole NBA Cup, I might kind of accept it.
Yeah.
But just for the group, I think that's actually good odds.
41-1 odds, man. Yeah. So check that out on Betway. Hit the QR code. Check that out. I might put a little wager.
I might join you on that, man.
Yeah, man.
Since I missed out on getting these Kings tickets that I was definitely eyeing for sure.
Anyways, next topic. Back on court. The Raptors announced on Friday that fan favorite Bruce Brown underwent an arthroscopic surgical procedure on his right knee. He's going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks. This is expected to be about a 2-month injury, which I guess if I do the math, it'll take us like into November.
This guy's going to miss Vince Carter getting his jersey retired.
Oh, man. He'll show up in a cowboy hat. Don't you worry about that.
Great.
So, Bruce Brown is out to start the season. Should we still cover the Raptors?
Wow. I mean, first off, I don't think since he's joined the Raptors, there's been like one great headline. Like, there's never been like, yay, we want to hear Bruce Brown content today. Like, it just hasn't happened. I think so. I looked into the history of this because I didn't really appreciate that I didn't really take in the fact that when he first came to the Raptors, he already had a knee injury.
Right.
Because apparently this goes back to like just after Christmas of 2023 of last season when he was with the Pacers. Rick Carlisle's, first announced that he was very, very minor and that they were going to hold out some back-to-backs and stuff like that. Shortly thereafter, he was traded to Toronto. And I know that last season he did miss 1 week in March due to a knee injury, and he missed like 4 games. But I also thought at that time, like, so many Raptors were missing times due to injuries that, like, I just wasn't paying so much attention to it. I guess my point is I didn't think it was going to be a lingering thing that would go through the entire offseason. And I know that, like, we're never going to get a completely definitive answer on this because they could easily say, well, he just wanted to sort of see how it would recover but on its own, and obviously you would like to avoid surgery whenever you can. Having said that, though, it's just not great optics that you're coming into the season. You've had a long offseason, right? The Raptors have been off since April. So we're now talking about the season starting in October. If you know that the surgery is a possibility and it's going to take between 6 to 8 weeks to recover from, how is the deadline to get that surgery not 6 to 8 weeks before the season starts?
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm completely with you. I think the timing of it is really unfortunate, and I think
like I get waiting and stuff, but like you could have waited 3 months and still got the surgery and still made the season to start. And I think for me, it's like, look, you might offer play. Like I don't want to question injuries and things like that because that gets into a really murky area. But at the same time, like it's also we haven't spent enough time as like a Raptors franchise to know what Bruce Brown is about. You know what I mean? Like there's certain players where like, okay, you know what they're about, you know what their trust is, you know where their heart is, all that kind of stuff. I haven't had the time to build in the benefit of the doubt. And to me, it actually like objectively was annoying to me that this thing is going to carry into the season. Plus, we're going into a year where it's like, look, for Bruce, it's a contract year as well, right? You know you're not going to make $23 million on your next deal. So you're coming into the season, you should want to do your very best to secure another contract. Your career wasn't over just because you won a championship with the Nuggets, right? So where's the next ambition to come into the season fully ready, go, really do a good job? I know it's going to be difficult because the Raptors are not as exciting to play for as the Denver Nuggets, right? We're not a perpetual championship contender.
Do the Mark Jackson voice when you...
I apologize to the Denver Nuggets, right? But like, no, but seriously, like, I just think, like, why was he not ready for the season?
Yeah, this is tough, and I think, like you mentioned, like just the relationship between the Raptors and Bruce Brown, like since the trade, it's just like not gone off on the right foot.
And again, like I'll accept that. Like, let's say he was training in the offseason and something went worse. Like, it's just his health, right? You can always say that there's a bailout, but to me, I'm just like, it's
something
very unfortunate, man.
This sounds like something that could have been done like at the end of the regular season. Just if the injury was there,
or wait
it's
like
been
2
lingering,
months. Yeah.
like get it done, come to training camp healthy. And I think what's upsetting Raptors fans, of course, is just like everybody's looking at Bruce Brown as, could he still potentially, get us something in a trade and things like that. And this is obviously going to hurt the value there too.
And he's got to play well for that too.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And I understand. Like, I don't think Bruce Brown is like, he owes this like undying loyalty to the Raptors. He was traded here. He didn't sign here and all that kind of stuff. And, he's gone back and forth with fans on Twitter about this stuff too. But like, ultimately, like, you just got to, it sucks, man. I would love, because he is still a productive player, for him to be on the roster and available to play when needed.
Yeah, so wanted to ask you too how this impacts the Raptors. I don't know if you have Bruce Brown penciled in as like potentially making the starting lineup to start the season.
I mean, if we're just talking about like the 5 best players on the Raptors and that's your starting 5, like Bruce Brown is one of the top 7 players on the Raptors. Okay. So he should be in contention to start. Right. And there is a spot there potentially, but I don't think that I think this really opens the door for Grady to take the starting spot. Maybe Ochai has an outside shot. Ochai got that 41-1 NBA odds, NBA Cup odds to start, but I think, Bruce would have for sure been in the rotation, for sure would have played 20 to 25 minutes. And now we got to replace that with like a rookie or Ochai.
Right.
So it's just not necessarily ideal. But again, like, I think for me, for everyone else, like, we just would love to see him productive and then get to the point in the season where you could potentially look to trade him, right? Because if you come back in November and it takes you like 2 weeks to get up to speed, all that kind of stuff, like, trades starts to happen like end of December at that point, right? Like, that's when the OG trade happened, for example. If a month worth of productive play off the bench is going to be enough to get a first round pick, I don't think that's going to be possible.
Yeah, I think as long as he comes back and he shows that he's healthy, that he can play, like Bruce Brown has a track record where you would think a team that wants to acquire him would still be able to like offer up whatever asset it is. At this point, though, I'm learning to just lower my expectations, because it seems like this whole Pascal Siakam trade is just unfolding as a slow nightmare, Well,
that's the other part of this that was interesting to me, because I feel like so many people are like upset about the trade. It's not a particularly rewarding trade, right? You could say like they got some picks out of it, but like two of those picks have already been expended, right? They only got one more pick from coming in from that trade. And I think for a lot of people, they were looking at like the Bruce Brown thing as the unresolved portion. The thing is, like, if you're not like happy with the Bruce Brown trade or like the Pascal Siakam trade, like, that it's never going to change. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be what it is. Like, it's, so I understand people being sour about it, but like it kind of is in the past. And
I just don't want the front office to get away with that. I feel like they mismanaged the Pascal situation.
What do you want them to say? Like, sorry? Like,
I would love an apology from Masai, from Bobby.
It's not happening, dog.
Bobby, I know you on Dundas, bro. Next topic, since we don't want to lose subscribers.
Why does that sound like a threat, man?
Topic number 3, Christian Koloko.
Yep.
A few weeks ago, signed a 2-way contract with the Lakers. We saw Christian at Summer League. He was hanging out with the Raptors. I know he was having private workouts, trying to work his way back after missing last season with a blood clot issue, to the point where the Raptors waived him in January. Now he still needs to be cleared by the league's fitness to play panel, which is 3 doctors, an NBA appointed doctor, a players union appointed doctor, so Garrett Temple's doctor, and a mutually agreed upon 3rd doctor before he can come back and resume basketball activities with the Lakers. So I think, Christian is still just 24. I know he had shown, glimpses, flashes of potentially being part of this young core during his rookie season. How upset are you that we have lost Christian Koloko for now to the Lakers?
Yeah, I think so this has happened about a week ago now, and I think for me, thinking about it, like, could the Raptors have done something differently? And I think if you had the perfect confidence that he would be able to return to the NBA and play, which even right now he still has not yet received at the eve of the season, I think if you knew he was coming back, then of course the Raptors should have held on to him, because their choices were at the time, if you remember, because of the Pascal Siakam trade, because his contract was bigger than Bruce Brown's, they needed to add like a couple more pieces. So they got Jordan Wara, who is now playing in Turkey.
Let's go.
And they got
shouts to Enes Esmer.
Yeah, shouts to Enes Esmer. Children ruin everything. And also, but congrats on your Canadian Screen Awards. 2-time trophy, I believe.
2 times.
2 times, baby. Yeah. Come on. And then they had to get Kira Lewis as well,
Oh, okay. Yeah, big moves.
Which, by the way, they did give him OG's jersey. I don't think OG's jersey is ever going to retired, but it was interesting that he left and then Kira Lewis got
Jordan
3.
Nora and Kira Lewis.
Jordan Nora and Kira Lewis and Bruce Brown. Don't forget about Bruce. But I think that's where they needed the extra roster spot.
Right.
And I think the whole thing is very unfortunate, though, because I just don't think that the Raptors had full confidence that he would be eventually cleared back to come play in the NBA. And so in that sense, like, I don't think you can kill them for, not having the hindsight. This is different from the Pascal Siakam trade, which is like, you could have done this differently. You could see this problem coming up ahead of you. You could have done it in the offseason. You could have done it here, whatever. You could have taken different deals. I think in this situation, it's just unfortunate. It's a guy's like, it's not even the Bruce Brown thing with the knee, because that's like a regular thing that happens in sports, right? You like have some knee inflammation, doesn't go away. Eventually, you got to get a scope to get it cleared out. Hopefully, that's done. This is totally different. It's a blood clotting issue, right? Which I personally feel like it shouldn't have been reported out there in that degree, but it was. So whatever, it's fine. But like, what can you really do about something like this, right?
Well, Chris Bosh had a similar.
Yeah, he never came back.
Situation, and he couldn't come back.
He literally never came back.
It's like a life or death thing. You don't want to risk it.
Yeah, but I think there's other players that have gone through that. I think LaMarcus Aldridge kind of have a similar situation. He was able to come back and play as well, and he had played a long time in the league. For me, Christian, I mean, I want him to have a good career because he, just seemed like a promising prospect. I think he wasn't like a slam dunk prospect. Like, I think that like his offensive ceiling was very limited. Wasn't a very strong finisher. Theoretical 3-point shooter. He did hit that one clutch 3 against Phoenix, but let's be honest, he's got like a dozen made threes in his career, if that, right? So, but still, I think he was a very good defensive prospect, and I would have liked to seen another big in the Raptors pipeline. And it felt like whoever was that like second or third string center in the last couple of years, they've all just been cursed. Whether it's Koloko, whether it's Jonte Porter, which might be self-inflicted. It's just I would love for another big to be in the pipeline.
He a businessman.
Yeah. So anyway, look, the Raptors took Shamshe. They took Brandon Carlson. So yeah, I guess they have some other sort of options there. But it would have been nice to also have Koloko in the pipeline. I can't kill the team for this though. I just can't. Like, how are you going to know that he's going to be okay?
I agree with you, and I think this kind of goes back to the conversation about Bruce Brown too. I think part of the reason why the fans are upset is just revisiting the transaction that resulted in Bruce Brown, that resulted in Koloko, because Koloko was a draft pick like when the Raptors made the Thad Young deal, right? They moved back.
Yep.
They had traded their first rounder.
Well, the Raptors clearly liked him. I remember even talking to I even talking to agents who had players in that range, right? Who were like looking at the draft, looking ahead to who the Raptors might take at 33, and they were very convinced, all of them, that the Raptors were going to take Christian Koloko with that pick. Like, it was almost like earmarked for that, unless Christian got taken a little bit earlier than that. But it was like he's not falling past the Raptors at 33. So the Raptors were very high on Christian. But yeah, I mean, I think if you want to circle back to that trade, that also wasn't that ideal. You missed out on certain players. Walker Kessler, for example, was in that range. Andrew Nemhard was taken 31st. Like, if they didn't just swap out that deal, I think that's the thing with the Bruce Brown thing, is you don't want to turn into another Goran Dragic situation.
Right. Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I think, man, the Raptors have had some tough trades the last few years, man. But it's okay. We fleeced the Kings for Davion Mitchell, baby.
There you go. We actually did, though. We want to take this moment in the podcast to let you know that Tangerine is the official bank of the Hello and Welcome podcast. Of course, you already know about Tangerine. You've seen them on the broadcast. They're the official bank of the Toronto Raptors and its fans. They're also a foundational partner of the WNBA and the NBA. And the reason we want to partner with Tangerine and vice versa is because we share the same vision. They are so dedicated to growing the game of basketball in Canada. They're dedicated to servicing its fans, and they've just been great partners. If you haven't seen already, we gave away some jerseys, we gave away some season tickets already, and we can look forward to more of those opportunities coming up this season. So with Tangerine, they're about forward banking, and that means that there's no unfair fees, there's no overly complicated products, and definitely no expensive brick and mortar branches. To learn more about Tangerine, you go to tangerine.ca. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors and its fans, and the official bank of Hello and Welcome and its fans.
All right, next topic. By
the way, do you think he's going to play with the Lakers?
I don't know. I just hope he just gets back on the court. I mean, he hasn't even been cleared yet, right?
Yeah.
So it feels like he's close enough that the Lakers are going to take a chance here with a two-way. I think it'd be great for him to. I mean, the Lakers need bodies.
Is he going to play though? That's the thing for me. Like, I don't know. It's like Lakers are like a win now team.
Sure.
And they're not like waiting around to see if Christian can be good.
But I don't think Koloko is this like raw prospect who can't play. Like I can see him coming off the bench and like getting some minutes and stuff.
I think that's the ideal situation. My point is that like if it doesn't work out with the Lakers this year, the Raptors might be able to sign him next year.
Yeah, I mean it's either it's either Christian Koloko or Christian Wood, man. It's not it ain't a huge battle over there.
Damn, bro.
LeBron's like, man, I've been watching Koloko since he was 5 and I was 5.
It's like it's like the plot of Shogun. It's just a battle of Christians.
Yeah,
man.
and now to the business of sports. Rogers, shouts to our former employer, acquired 37.5% of Bell's share in MLSE for $4.7 billion last week, essentially taking over the Raptors, the Leafs, and of course they own the Blue Jays as well. Rogers now owns 75% of MLSE. There's some other details to go to in terms of, Bell gets to keep their content rights for the next like 20 years, I believe.
Yeah, so like Jack, and you're still gonna get Jack,
like
still gonna get
TSN
Leo
and Sportsnet. You're still gonna have that coverage.
Sam Mitchell's still gonna diss the Raptors low key.
Gonna shout out 4 TSN guys and not shout out Wesley Chen.
Kia Nurse.
That's how it is.
You
Kate Burness. Shout out Wes, man.
Come on, Kate Burness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyways, Rogers is in the building, baby.
Rogers is in the building. I mean, we were just in that building, so we know that. I think so. Number one for me, it was actually kind of interesting because I know MLSE is like a huge sporting brand already, and it's the Raptors, it's the Leafs. You forgot TFC as well, the Argos.
How could I forget TFC? Lionel Messi coming soon.
Oh, come on, bro.
Yeah.
How are you going to diss the
diss
TFC with Jerome Chang as our producer?
Oh, my God.
Man.
Jerome, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
No,
Argos, Marlies. You know what I mean? Marlies.
Yeah, Marls. Yeah.
But 37.5% of Bell, or buying that out for $4.7 billion, effectively puts the valuation of all of MLSE at like $12 billion.
Yeah, I mean, that checks out. That's a big conglomerate, man.
But I was looking at this too because I agree with you. Like, on top of my head, I'm like $12 billion roughly. Like, that's not like unreasonable for the whole franchise.
Yeah, I mean, the Leafs alone.
But the Leafs, I looked at it on Forbes, it said Leafs are like $3 billion.
Okay.
And TSC is like, I'm going to be generous and say $1 billion. Although they're probably like $700 million.
Out of respect to Jerome, we'll call it
out of respect. You know what I mean?
Give them a billy.
Yeah, Argos, I didn't even look it up because I don't think they value the Argos. You know what I mean? Argos, like a cool $25 million maybe. Like
hit that rouge.
100 at best. You know what I mean? But like, you put all that together, like effectively, you take that out of the share. That means like the Raptors are worth $8 billion.
No, your math must be wrong on that. I'm gonna need a recount on that one, man.
I'm just saying, 30.
There's no way you're putting the Raps.
Maybe I'm watching too much industry, but like
no. See, I just looked it up right now. Yeah. Right now, the Celtics are valued at $5.1 billion.
Yeah,
and that would put them 4th highest in the league.
Right, but you got to sell. When they sell, we'll actually know what the real value.
I would not put the Raptors above that.
I wouldn't put the Raptors above the Celtics either. But if you're telling me that 37.5% of Bell shares sold for $4.7 billion. That means the total value of MLSE is $12 billion.
No. Some accountant out there or someone's gonna step in and correct us on this.
Okay,
we can't be right on this.
I'm just saying. I just.
But I agree with you.
It's a high number.
No, I agree with you.
It's a high number.
NBA franchises are worth like a lot now, and they've shot up.
Yeah,
I'd be shocked if the Raptors were like in the top 10 though. I don't know. Maybe I'm undervaluing.
No, I think the Raptors are definitely a top 10 franchise.
You think so?
Toronto was like a top 4. Like. It's like
beautiful city, man. Why was the Gardner shut down on the weekend? Yeah.
Oh, buddy, I had to take that GO train on Lakeshore
Take my
West.
nephew back uptown, and suddenly I got to take a shuttle bus from St. Clair to York Mills.
What's going on, man? You taking a shuttle bus?
He's like, you don't got money for Uber? I'm like, no.
Does anyone please? Has someone taken a secret photo of Alex on a bus in TTC?
Yo, every time I get caught on a streetcar, I'm so embarrassed.
Yo, hold on. Did you sit in one of the blue seats or not?
I don't know what that means. So
priority seating, man.
So listen, man. I think listen, people ain't here to hear us bounce around numbers and stuff.
Right. This ain't industry, sorry.
I mean, Michael Grange, per Michael Grange of Sportsnet, he wrote an article about this, and I think this has been kind of out there, saying that he said, quote, that Ed Rogers was uncomfortable having some of the highest paid executives in their respective sports as team presidents, on top of management at MLSE. And we know that Masai, I think, is reported he had signed a 5-year, $75 million deal back in 2021.
He getting paid less than Bruce Brown. No way. Ain't no way.
This guy making George's Niang money. He's
making more than Sidney Crosby. He's making 2 Sidney Crosbys.
So I mean, Masai's deal is coming up soon, 2026, I guess. And I think for fans that, are looking at this from a team perspective, I guess the two big things is Masai's future, and then number two, also like under this new ownership structure, are they going to be willing to spend, et cetera, when the team is successful again?
So I think number one, I doubt Masai walks into the final year of his job expiring with nothing else lined up. I mean,
he did that last time, didn't he? He went to free agency essentially, right?
Yeah, but I think he went to free agency because the negotiations were so difficult.
Right. Okay. Sure.
Right.
You don't think he's doing that this time?
In an ideal circumstance, he's not walking into an expiring year, and it's like, if I do well this year, I might get a job at the end of it. Like, Masai's beyond that. You know what I mean? Like,
once again, you've said this before, but the Raptors are the only team in the league that only does executive free agency.
Yeah, it's actually annoying that this is like at least the third.
Like, did they do this in the
'90s
'90s with the Lakers? It's like, yo, Mitch Kupchak not gonna walk into free agency
like,
without a
Mitch.
plan.
Not Mitch.
Not Vinny Del Negro.
That was the ownership situation from. Yeah, no, seriously, it's actually mad annoying.
So you're saying if Masai doesn't have a new deal by next season, 2025, 26.
Yeah, next summer will be the time to get a deal done.
And if not, there might be some clarity on the situation potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. A couple of things I looked into it. Like, apparently the deal closes mid 2025. Okay. So it seems like
season?
after next season.
Okay, after
this season.
Summer,
after this season.
Sure.
I think that traditionally, I think he's got more support from the Bell side than he's gotten from the Rogers side. But I also think that other part is like a little bit. It's too simplistic to just say like Ed Rogers hates Masai. Yeah. I think what happened with the last negotiations, in terms of just like the strict negotiation parts, because there's the other portion where they reported on like they saw Masai's cameramen and they were like, "Are these security guards?" Which I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if Jeff Landicio really looking like a security guard. You know what I mean? I don't know security guards that are 5'8", but like I'm talking about like for the actual negotiation portion. I think they were just looking at it like business wise.
Yeah.
How much were executives being paid in, let's say, I think when was the last negotiation? 2021?
Yeah, 2021 was when the deal got done.
Back then, I don't think execs are getting paid $15 million.
Well,
I think that's the way they looked at it. And this is my understanding of it. And I'm not trying to defend Ed Rogers. Come on, man. Like, we literally just left the company.
No, we love Ed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ambivalent towards it, really. But I think from their side, they were like, why are we paying him more money than any other executive in the league is getting paid? Well, and by a margin that was like a jump ahead.
I think the pushback, and I don't think fans need to hear the pushback because I think fans were super on board with having Masai back at the time. But you're coming off bringing a championship here to Toronto.
I agree. Yeah,
decade-long success. Like you could say at the time, might be tougher to say now, but at the time you could be like Masai was the top guy in terms of an executive that you want in the NBA. Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Like, I hear your side totally.
I think the other part too is just like
you're watching too much industry.
No. I think they were looking at it like, wait, hold on. Why do we need to pay this much?
Fair.
That's just their portion of the negotiation.
Fair.
Now, of course, obviously I think Bell's side was like, we're happy to pay this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Larry, obviously, who's very close to Masai, was very happy to pay this as well. And I also think that on the bigger picture, these companies make so much money, especially because Canada is effectively like 15 different duopolies dressed in like a trench coat, right? That like they have all the money in the world to pay Masai something that for me, I thought he deserved as well. If you go back to our coverage back then, we were all angling for this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think my point is just like, it's not like they hate Masai and as soon as they take over, they're going to get rid of Masai. I think there's just going to be a bigger conversation to be had. And I think it's also fair based on the last 5 years in terms of just the contract he's currently on. Yep. Has he brought you top of the league level management?
No, and he hasn't. I think you could evaluate the Raptors on the last 5 years and say that they've been at the bottom tier in terms of like how they've managed a lot of these transactions and players and stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't say bottom tier, but
I mean,
you're saying bottom tier?
Like bottom 10?
They got you Scotty Barnes.
I mean, they drafted Scotty. What else? We got Davion Mitchell. Stole Davion Mitchell. Fleeced him.
Fleeced Davion
Mitchell. The
bro.
Kings.
Come on, man.
Vlade Divac is so embarrassed right now.
Oh, man. He can't sleep at night. He's like, man, I passed on Luka Doncic, but man, I gave up.
He's like, this wasn't the McDaniels in the Wolves series? What happened?
Wait, hold on. Can I undo
I think
this?
too. I mean, the other thing is like Larry T is getting squeezed out of this too, right? I think he sold some of his shares already.
But I think he was already on the way out.
Yeah, he's
right?
on his way out, and obviously he's got his WNBA venture.
Yeah,
that's going to remove another kind of component that might protect Masai. I think the thing for me too is like, listen, I know like everything's been said about Ed Rogers, and there was like a lot of negative press about him, especially during the Masai negotiations.
Yeah,
I think fair. Like, I think if you're a fan, like at that time, you're looking at it from the perspective of like, why are we even questioning Masai's value.
I agree. Yeah.
All I want moving forward is like, I think there's a potential positive there of like, we know how much money like, you know, Rodgers has. If they want to be like a dominant like organization across the board with the Jays, with the Leafs, with the Raptors, they can. So I am optimistic and hopeful that maybe there's a way where it's like this is a positive for the team, and like Ed Rodgers doesn't just want to own everything, but he also wants to like succeed and like actually throw a lot of money at this stuff.
Yeah, but I think that's the part that I think people are concerned about, because probably on the management side, in terms of just that portion, people are much more familiar with the Leafs ownership, or not the Leafs ownership, with the Jays ownership.
Sure.
Because that's been owned by Rodgers completely for like the last however many years. And so on that side, like I know the Jays spend a decent amount.
They're one of the top spenders in the league, and they've been willing to dip into like whatever luxury tax is for baseball too.
But I think on the flip side, I don't think that like their choice of who's managing the team and the management structure on the Jays side has been like stellar either.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like eventually it's like, okay, obviously he's let other guys run the team, let's say, right? He's let Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins, you know, the Shatkins combo like run the team. But like it's like I wouldn't say that management group has been excellent either. So,
but on the flip side too, you know, not to be doing Ed Rodgers PR.
We definitely are not doing Ed Rodgers PR, by the way.
But if we were to play the devil's advocate, you know, shouts to Clement, like they've had sustainability within like these organizations, like for better or worse. Like Masai's been there. Yeah. I mean, they're not going to take
sustainability is only good if they're
Jays
doing
have been
well.
there, and even the Leafs too, right? The Leafs have had like the Brendan Shanahan era while cycling through like different coaches too. So I don't know. I don't know. Like you can look at it like on both sides, and it is really hard to like succeed, especially in the NBA. Like I don't think we're like the championship was great, and I think set really high expectations. But I think we're coming to realize too, especially in these 5 years after, like how hard it is to even just build back like a sustainable contender.
Well, I think that's the other portion too. Is like different to baseball. Obviously, the Raptors can't just spend whatever. You mean they can't chase, you know, Shohei Ohtani in the offseason.
And listen, the Jays did try to throw like $700 million.
I know, but you can't just throw money at the situation in Toronto. That's not what's going to fix Toronto. What's going to fix Toronto as a basketball organization is being able to really get back to developing talent, improving players, and being able to make shrewd trades to build up to the point where you have the equity to go get a, you know, Kawhi Leonard. You have an equity to go get, you know, Mark and Serge and these guys.
Giannis, we're gonna come get you, bro.
Giannis, man.
Giannis,
you know,
we're gonna come get you, bro.
We're already looking past that. Shea, buddy. We're
you
looking
want
at you.
DeLon Wright? You want Gary? We'll bring them back too, man.
You know what? Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Bill.
We'll put them in that same deal, man.
You know, the Raptors were always a threat.
Why is Doc Rivers in this again?
So, yeah.
So I think
anything else you want to add
for
to
Masai, though, like if you want Masai to stay, and I personally want Masai to stay because I rather like Masai and I respect that he's done a really good job over the course of his career in Toronto especially, but of course the last couple of years have been underwhelming. But if you want Masai to stick around, this is a huge year for him. I think what's going to make the case a lot easier from negotiation-wise is Scotty Barnes makes another jump, becomes an all-NBA level player. Maybe he doesn't make the team, but you could say that he's going to be a future player who's going to make one of those teams. That one of RJ and Emmanuel quickly are all-star level players. And the Raptors overall are like 500, but with like a positive trajectory. You know, like obviously the Raptors are not the Thunder, but the Thunder the last couple of years were like 500-ish, and then they make a little bit of jump, they make a little jump, and now they're like top of the Western Conference in terms of just like standings-wise. That's what the Raptors need to show that they're on a positive trajectory, and that's why this year it's not like a let's tank this year. I think there's too many, you know, whether that's Scotty saying we really want to win this year, whether that's Masai's contract really effectively being decided. Like I would look at it as this is more of a contract year. Like they need to show real progress right now for him to sort of stick around and make that case. And I don't know who would take over after him if he does leave. Like
Daryl Morey, man.
No,
I'm gonna scoop Daryl Morey from Philly.
I'm good, man.
You don't want Big D?
No, man.
You don't want Big D to sign James Harden when he's 39?
Don't call him that.
You don't want him to bring Corey Brewer and Josh Smith out of retirement?
Bro, no. If you want to sign James Harden, you got to go to the Shanghai Sharks, man. He got to manage that too.
Brother. All right, last topic before we wrap up.
Yep.
Adrian Wojnarowski announced last week that he was retiring from sports media, stepping away from his ESPN role, and becoming general manager of his what is it, St. Bonaventure, the men's basketball team. He's going to become the GM there. this sent shockwaves, around the basketball world. What was your reaction to Woj leaving the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think first off, it's huge news. I think especially for people who are like really online, and I think that like we talk about people online as like this separate thing, as if it's like a rarity. Everyone's very online these days. Like that's just how society is. But a lot of NBA fandom, especially if you've been a fan in the last like 20 years, Woj has been this inescapable character, right? And it's funny even calling him a character because he's like aggressively like bland. like almost intentionally so because he has to be very careful about how he speaks. Everything gets aggregated, everything gets misconstrued. He wants to protect like a million relationships he has around the league. But the point is that there's been a whole internet culture built around Woj, and I think that's gotten him to great places. I think that depending on sort of who you talk to, there are people who are very big proponents of Woj. They respect the way he's worked and he got to the very top of his craft. There's also a lot of people who are like, wow, Woj really cut us out or sort of stepped over us. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like Eric in industry. You can't love or hate the guy necessarily because he's not just a one-note kind of person. But I think at the same time, like, yeah, I mean, for Woj, what else is there in it for Woj, right? Like making the money, like working like, I don't know, 100 hours a week. You know what I mean? Like you heard the stories. Like Shams was saying like, my phone, I got 18 hours of phone time. Like he got Shams breathing down his neck. Like it's just, I don't know. For Woj, like he's done this for a long time. He's made a lot of money. And you know how much he loves St. Bonaventure. Him and Tim Bontemps talk about it every day.
They love the Bonnies, man.
Bro, you would think it was like Duke or something. So
yeah.
I'm happy for him, man. Like you've reached the top of your craft and now you're able to do what you love. Like and he's made a ton of money.
So conspiracy Al here.
Okay. All right.
So I think what really got to Woj, as I'm looking at his TL here, the last deal that he broke? The last deal that he broke was on September 14th.
Oh, is it Isaac Okoro?
Isaac Okoro agrees to a 3-year, $38 million deal with the Cavs. And, with credit to Michael Tellum, Jeff Schwartz, and Marcus Monk of Excel Basketball. I think Woj just was typing out that tweet and was like, you know what? I'm done, man. I'm done. If I'm breaking Okoro on September 14th, like it's time to call the Bonnies. I'm done. Like it was a thrill when like Dwight Howard had his free agency. It was a thrill when Kawhi was like deciding between the Raptors and Clippers. But if I gotta go through the Tony Snells and the Isaac Okoros, like I can't do it anymore.
So one thing that I know you're on a mission this year is to get one scoop with the Raptors.
Yes.
It's actually like a year-long thing. We even called you Wanj, right?
One
like
scoop.
Wanj Narowski, right?
Yeah.
Because your last name. But
don't forget who told you Serge Ibaka was showing up to the WNBA preseason game courtside.
Well, don't trust
48 hours
that's
before
not even
it happened.
close to your biggest scoop, man. You know what I mean? I got scoops all over the city, bro. I'm not even kidding, man.
Got more scoops than Bang Bang ice cream. Man. Shout out to Ossington.
Okay, random shout out. Yeah.
But yeah, what about Wanj?
For Woj, it's like, it got to the point where now we're not even just interested in the reporting. We're interested in how the reporting came about. Yeah. And for me, it was very eye-opening. There was a situation this summer where I was actually sitting with an agent and just like having lunch or whatever. And
sources.
And I was looking at the situation like, okay, so there was a group chat between Woj, the agent representing obviously a player who was in free agency, and then also a team that the player signed in free agency with. And they were all coordinated in a group chat together. Essentially like, this is when we're going to announce the press release, right? And so the terms and everything's already agreed upon. They find a time that they're going to coordinate to like maybe it's a Wednesday. They're like, we're going to do it on a Friday. It'll lead the news cycle. It'll help ESPN here. It'll help my team here. And then boom, it's all coordinated. And I'm not saying that like Woj has never broken a story that wasn't coordinated, but like there were parts of it where I'm like, this is just a press release at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like you could have just done this even without him in the middle. But I think our news culture has really created this situation where we just need someone to be here. And I do wonder, because obviously Shams is like the number one guy now, undisputed, right? It's like obviously Woj is gone.
Don't sleep on Windy, man.
But I think for me, it's interesting because you're always going to need two of these, right? Because you're going to need the players sided or the agency sided angle, which is probably going to be provided by Shams. But then you're probably also going to need the team sided angle because usually there are two sides to each story. Yeah. And you're going to need reporters on each side of that. So I don't think it'll just be Shams by himself. I think someone else will come in and replace Woj's throne. But yeah, I mean, I think Woj is like, it's very interesting because I think like a whole culture built up around following the NBA on the internet, and Woj was at the very center of so much of that.
I totally agree with you in terms of like news breaking and like aggregation, and it's like trade deadline and free agency just like became its own event. I think about too like how many like just I remember there was this like kid from LA who was apparently like trying to break a bunch of stuff like during free agency. A lot of these random accounts will pop out, or even during like Kawhi watch, you see a lot of people try to pop up and break news.
Woj.
Yeah, fake Woj.
Yeah,
and I think that became just a whole other part of the game that people like to consume. Like people like to watch the game, people like to do that, but then there's a whole other part where it's just like kind of gossip. And it's kind of just rumors and like figuring out like who's getting along with who's going to get traded. And I think Woj was at the very forefront of that. And like you mentioned, there were some people who really liked that.
Yeah.
And there were some people who didn't like kind of that access journalism. And I think, but depending, like no matter which side you stood on, you still consume those Woj tweets.
I was gonna say, was there anybody following basketball that wasn't following Woj?
No, like it was honestly emotional removing him from my text notifications last week.
Bro, it was literally that scene where I'm crying and I'm holding the gun, man. I'm like, damn, bro.
I was like, damn, I still got Shams. I put Mark Stein on there too.
Yeah.
Lots of newsletter updates. Appreciate that. Subscribe to the newsletter.
Yeah, I think the other part too is just for me, like, I'm just interested to see who like replaces him, right? Like, you think Windy will do it?
Yeah, so there's like people. This is like the new. I guess this is newsbreaker free agency.
Oh, okay,
now.
All right.
I do think Windy's got the relationships, the sources. Like even like we've talked about, we love him on the Hoop Collective. He's got a great personality as a podcast host.
But to be Woj or Shams, you can't have a strong personality.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? You can't be giving opinion on people.
Yeah, but I think it depends on if Windy wants to do it. It's interesting because like I think a Windy or even a Zach Lowe, I don't think Zach would ever want to do this. I think
Zach's an analyst.
He talked about it on his latest pod too. Yeah. That like this is not something that he would want to get into.
He's like, I don't want to be up against the shower,
Yeah, why is it always in the shower?
The phone in the other hand, the other thing in the other hand.
I love how Shams just has his phone strapped to him when he's at like Tuesday pickup.
Bro, I feel like Shams is the next evolution of Shams is gonna be that Apple Pro Vision thing where he's just gonna have his eyes like permanently looking at when to send tweets. Yeah. So.
No, we'll see who steps up. But just want to give a shout out to Woj, man. You've inspired many people, including myself. I'm gonna get a scoop this year.
Juan just gonna carry the legacy.
Get an Exhibit 7, Exhibit 10.
Exhibit 7, bro. That's not a thing.
J Electronica, whatever it is.
Exhibit 7 is 3 points on Mount.
All right, to wrap up, just got some shout outs and some happy birthdays. Just want to give a shout out to my guy Alex from NBA Canada, aka the Henny God. You remember the Henny God. We went rooftop pickup game with him.
Yep.
Ran into him at a Subway event on Friday. Scotty Barnes was there with a bunch of junior NBA, WNBA kids. It was super fun.
Wonch.
Wonch. Scotty doing stuff around the city with Subway.
Wow.
Great event by Subway as well.
Yep.
Shouts to Ashton from NBA Canada. Also met a Kawhi Watch listener there.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I forgot to get your name.
Kawhi Watch.
Whose daughter was there, like, in the camp.
Yeah.
And I made sure she subscribed to Hello and Welcome.
Nice.
It made me realize too, because Yahoo Canada shut down. Rest in peace. Like none of the videos are there online anymore.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
They're all gone. I wanted to go back and watch.
Bro, Joel Embiid slander pod gone.
Those George Street Diner Kawhi watches, man.
Gone.
Anyways,
and those videos of you with who is it? Tyler Ennis.
Oh, me,
Tyler Ennis, Harrison Sanford.
And Harrison Sanford.
Yeah.
Man, ordering sandwiches from Fresh.
Yeah. Honestly, you a real fan if you've seen those ones, man.
So and also letting people know we're back to 3 episodes a week starting next week. Is this news to Jerome that we're going to 3 episodes next week? Surprise.
Yeah, work all the time now.
So we'll be back, training camp, media day, all of that stuff. May or may not be in Montreal, who knows. No, we'll be in Montreal.
We'll be in Montreal, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
Edit this.
Catch us at Lab Manquise or whatever.
We got the preseason, post-game pods getting fired up. Got a lot of cool live events that we're going to be planning. You know where we should be planning our live events is at Greta on King Street, my brother.
Oh, yo. Greta's actually a pretty sick spot to go.
Yeah, man. I'm super
watch
excited.
a game, go before the game, go after the game. It's King
man.
West, you know what I mean? It's easy. King in Portland. Me and Jerome spent like at least 2 hours playing Papa Shot there last time.
Sounds like something you would do.
Yeah. It's actually a nice place, man.
Did you come here and drink some Baiju after or what, man?
No, I think I just stayed at.
Okay, cool, man.
Greta
Trying
the
to
whole
work
time,
in one more
actually.
promo.
Yeah.
Shouts to Hong Sheng.
Shouts to Hong Sheng.
Couple birthday shout outs. Raptors show. Oh, no. Hello and welcome, listener.
Oh, no.
Oops.
Oh, no.
Oops.
Oh, yo, Jerome, don't edit that. Caption it, actually. Caption it.
Still Raptor show. Only
Goodness.
Raptor show that matters.
Wow.
Shouts to. Oh, sorry.
Don't cut
Jerome.
that either.
Edit that
actually.
if you
no,
need.
don't cut that. Don't cut that. Go ahead.
We don't want no trouble. Happy birthday, Sina Hussein. Friends with Amina.
Absolutely.
From the Squish Basketball League. We met her actually at a basketball game.
Yep.
A few years ago.
I think it was like maybe 2 years
few
ago.
months ago.
Maybe a couple months
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. So
but
happy
shouts
birthday.
to Cena, shouts to
Thanks
Squish,
for
shouts to
supporting.
Amina.
And final, birthday shout out to Elaine Kwan, who is in this room with us right now.
Yes.
It's been great to get to know Elaine the last few years. Super helpful with my book Prehistoric. But like I wrote in her birthday card, appreciate the wisdom and life advice, but most of all, appreciate the friendship.
You're hitting her with the OG head,
so-
the head nod.
So shouts.
Appreciate the wisdom.
Shouts to Elaine.
That's what I write in your birthday card.
Salute. All right, you got anything to say about Elaine or what?
Yeah, no, it was great to I also wrote in the card too. It's fine,
I mean, I know before we went out for the dinner, you were like, "Yo, that shit's $100 plus per person."
that's because you know how I move.
You're like, if we do the tasting menu, it might be $140.
You know where it's not $100 at Hong Sheng, buddy. We could have come here anyway. But
chill, bro.
I think Elaine has a real gift for bringing people together.
Yeah.
That's why she's in this room, and it was really great to go to China together.
Yeah,
as well.
China trip was great.
A lot of good adventures, and we're gonna wrap it up now.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done. All right. That does for us for today. I'm your host, Will. You've been listening to the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway, and we'll talk to you next week.